Welcome to the Asher Marketing Podcast. This podcast is hosted by Asher Agency, a comprehensive marketing partner for clients across the country. For more information, visit asheragency.com.
My guest is Kelley, President and CEO of Asher Agency. Kara, how you doing?
I'm good, Anthony. How are you?
I'm good. It has been a whirlwind in 2026 so far.
Yes, it has.
It's like we all woke up on January 5th and said, let's do everything right now.
It has been an absolute fire hose. I felt like there was this nice, quiet lull that was still busy during the holidays, but January has been a full-on sprint.
It sure has. It sure has, which is fun, which is why we do what we do, right?
Yeah, we love it.
So let's talk a little bit. So you're here to kind of recap 2025 and give a sense of what you're thinking about at Asher and what we as an agency are thinking about headed into the next 12 months or so. So let's start by recapping 2025. What were some of the highlights from your perspective, some of the things that made 2025 a special year at Asher?
We grew capabilities in 2025. We brought on some great new clients in 2025. I say that with a slight hesitation in my voice because 2025 was a grind. It was a hard year. It was difficult due to economic uncertainty. Just the climate of business last year was tough. We had a lot of federal spending cutbacks. And so anyway, it was a grind of a year. Yeah. But this team locked arms, worked hard, worked together, had a lot of fun doing it. Yeah. We brought on some new folks. For example, videography is something that we brought in-house last year. Yep. And it has just been so much fun to incorporate it into everything that we do and to be just so readily available for our clients and growing that capacity. Yeah. We also brought on a new media director at the end of last year, and he has a rich history in research and insights and analysis. And I've said this multiple times that I've long been a fan of Nick's, and finally bringing him on board when the timing was right was, I was just joking with Nick. I said, I've always wanted to work with you, and now that you're in the same building, we don't work together at all because we're both too busy. But someday Nick and I will work together. But he's been a great addition, as the other new additions have been to our team. One of the things you and I have talked about that I don't think people fully understand from the outside looking in, because Asher's been in business for 50 plus years, is that in some respects we operate like a startup because you and Megan just bought the business 3 years ago. And I think that uncertainty that everybody's feeling in 2025 kind of brought that to bear a little bit. It did. We didn't have 50 years of revenue in the bank. Yeah. We are so young, so hungry, so energized. We have to be pretty nimble right now. We feel every bump in the road as a relatively new business.
Yeah, well, and one of the things that you and Megan have had to do is to look ahead and to say, we need to keep our eyes on the budget in the short run, but we also have to build for the future. And that's where some of those new hires come in. Yeah. So congrats on taking the leap with some of the new folks.
Yes, it's been really exciting. I feel like I've said this over the years repeatedly, but once again, I feel like we have one of the best teams we've ever had at Asher. Yeah. Some of the most talented people. We talk so often about how we have teams of experts, but we truly are subject matter experts in so many of our different services and categories. So it's an exciting time.
Yeah, and I think that's the one thing that's changed the most. I mean, let's be honest, in the 21 and a half years I've worked here, we've always had very smart people. But people have had to get a little bit more focused on a specialty. So still very smart people, but like world-class smart about the thing they do because they're specialists, right? That's not throw any stones at people who've worked there in the past. Oh, yeah. Very smart people. But now it's like you got to be smart about one thing and be a world-class expert and be able to solve every problem. We're really lucky that we have those folks.
Yep. Great team.
So another big highlight in 2025 for especially you and Megan, but all of us at Asher, is that Asher became a women-owned small business as designated by the Small Business Administration this past year. Why is that ultimately meaningful for you?
So we were a certified WBE in the state of Indiana, which is great. But getting that SBA certification, it just takes it to a whole nother level. I mean, the SBA is a highly admired credential. It really legitimizes everything that we do. And getting that certification at the SBA level, I know I've shared this stat, but it's worth repeating, is that less than 1% of ad agencies are women-owned. So it's pretty barrier breaking to be able to say that we are a women-owned small business in the advertising space. We're breaking some glass ceilings there a bit in a really male-dominated, environment. So that's exciting for the future of, young women and young people at our agency to show that, you really can. You can do anything. And it's part of how we market ourselves now. I mean, I was talking to earlier this morning, me, Mike Fulton, Dave Good, and Melanie were talking to a female college president, and it stood out to her that we were a women-owned business, right? I think if you're a woman in leadership, that may or may not matter to you, but I think you can relate better in some respects to people like you and Megan running the show than if it were me or some other guy, right? Yeah.
So there's an affinity there that I think is helpful when we're telling our story.
It is. I'm really proud of it. It helps us with federal contracts, partnerships, people who are looking to be inclusive. But all that said, we stand on the talent of this team, whether we're women-owned or not. We're good at what we do, and so it's a nice credential to have, and we're exceptionally proud of it. But it really is just an added layer to hopefully why people would want to work with us.
Yeah, and it took a lot of work to get it. So congratulations for getting it done. Yeah. So let's look ahead and talk about 2026. So one of the things that has been maybe one of the biggest changes that I've seen in my time at Asher is AI, its impact on the industry and our clients. There's people who embrace it. There's people who are concerned about it. There's folks who are in between. What's Asher doing with all that? I know it's a big question, easy question to ask, hard question to answer. What is Asher doing to prepare for AI integration by us and by our clients? And what is Asher doing to use AI in a way that's responsible and reflective of what we've always done well?
Let's take a moment to talk about something that can revolutionize your business. Branding with Asher Agency. Ever wonder why some companies just stick in your mind? That's the power of great branding, and it's exactly what Asher delivers. Visit AsherAgency.com for more info.
Yeah, I mean, AI is changing the landscape of marketing, and we would be ignorant if we just dug our heads in the sand and were resistant to it. So what we're trying to do is inform ourselves and inform ourselves from every perspective, the dangers of it, the capabilities of it. What AI can do, though, for us as a small business makes us a little bit more nimble because you could have these big, powerful conglomerates of ad agencies that had access to these data tools. Now it really level sets the playing field that we as a small agency, we can be more nimble. We can test things more quickly. We're closer to our clients. We don't have so many layers of big shop agencies. We have real personal relationships, access to data. It allows us to, process information faster, whether it's audience segmentation, whether it's media performance analysis. We're able to, it's a benefit to our clients and I think a benefit to our team. But all that said, I love my mantras going into each new year.
You sure do.
We've had a lot of them. But this year, I think is even that much more important. And it's that we are powered by our people. It's our Asher intelligence. It's our unique perspectives that we contribute to our creativity, to our strategic recommendations from a media approach. Powered by our people uses those AI tools, but it all is very authentic thinking by our team. So, looking ahead and how AI is going to be integrated, every day it changes. Every day, we learn and we figure out what we want to do, what we don't want to do. But the thing is that we're learning and we're growing.
Yeah.
And as a 50, now almost 2-year-old agency, if we're not thinking and learning and growing, we're not going to be here in another 50 years.
100%.
So, yeah.
Yeah, and you and I have talked about the fact that we have to do right by our clients. Of course, that's why we're in business. We have to do right by our people. They're what makes us run and has always been the strength of Asher. But we have to do what's right for the agency too, because no Asher, we don't have to worry about clients and people. So it's really looking at it from a business approach and moving. I think one of the things we've done over the past at least few months, probably more like 6 to 12, is move from experimentation to integration, where it's like, we need to figure this out. Now I think we have some momentum where, many of us are using AI daily. It's integrated into our workflows, but we're also approaching it with some caution, knowing that there's some questions we need to be able to answer for clients, and we need their perspective. So I'd add to learning, we're also doing a lot of listening.
Yeah.
Listening to what our clients want us to be doing with AI and maybe what they don't want us to be doing. And that's going to be an ongoing process, right? It's not a switch that you flip and all of a sudden you've got it all figured out.
What I'm so proud of is this team is having conversations, intentional conversations. And that's all I ask for, for the betterment of them as individuals, as us as a whole, and for our clients.
Yeah. Well, and it's one of the things that I think has made Asher special for at least the time I've been here, and I'm confident well beyond that, is that everybody really does have a voice. And that's a challenge when the voices don't always agree, right? And there's some conflict. So we gotta work through that as well as a team and be respectful of each other, knowing that we may not land in the same place, but we all got to pull together.
Yep, we respect each other.
Yeah. So as you look at 2026, beyond AI is a big piece of it. What else are you excited about? What's on your mind over the course of the next 12 to 18 months?
Yeah, I just want to continue to grow, and it's an exciting start to the year. The phones are ringing, the emails are pinging. It's very busy, but just want to take care of our really good clients.
Yeah.
We had a great year in 2025. We have more than 200 clients that we served. We placed more than $1 million of media. We're hosting 70 websites. We're doing a lot around here, and it's really exciting. So taking care of those good clients that we have, but welcoming new clients on board, and so a couple things fundamentally that at least I think we as managers and we as an agency are prioritizing is also getting back to the basics. So really trying to streamline and refine processes. We have a lot of cross company collaboration and trying to streamline the way that we do things, and using AI as a tool is part of that. So that's a priority, and just really spending more time together. So often we all work so hard at this agency, and I'm so proud of the work that we do, but sometimes it's just nose to the grindstone. You want to lift your head up and look around and have some laughs, and we have such a good culture here, and so really want to nurture that going into this year.
Well, and it's real easy for that to become an afterthought. I noticed that just today, because I've been in the office most of the day, and I think this is like the first real interaction with a coworker I've had, because it's been super busy, right? And I was kind of kicking myself. I was like, why come into the office if you're just going to close your door and work in a silo? Sometimes that's a necessity, though, right, to get some stuff done. But I agree. It's ultimately about that collaboration and taking the time to really meet people in a way that's going to allow you to build that relationship and collaborate and do great work. Yeah. So I know you love to travel. Do you have any travel on the horizon for 2026? Getting a little personal here, taking us away from work.
I love to talk travel. So I have some meetings, some kind of retreat meetings, if you will, in Arizona next month. I went to the University of Dayton, my Dayton Flyers, and it's rare that my college girls can carve out time in our calendar, but we are going to get together in the spring. But my big trip this year is going to Croatia.
Okay.
So,
and you have a little bit of history history with Croatia, right?
I do.
Yeah,
I spent some time living there and working there.
Yeah.
And so I'm excited to go back and share it with Mike and just show him some of these most beautiful places I've ever seen in my life. So heading to Croatia this summer.
Awesome.
Yeah,
Awesome.
Counting down the days.
Well, by the time that comes, you're probably going to deserve a break with everything else that's going on.
I will look forward to it. Yeah, I'll look forward to it. It's so comforting to be able to take a break. You know me, my finger's always on the pulse. I'm always checking the emails, but just such a great team here where I can go take a little break for a second and then come back and jump right back in.
Well, and one more thing going back to Asher is it was funny. Our previous podcast guest had never been here, so I was walking him around the building and introducing him to folks. And I was like, and Nick's been here since November and Julia's been here a few weeks. And I'm like, there's a lot of new faces here. So hopefully by the time you're ready for your trip, everybody's successfully onboarded and ready to move forward and you can take a breath.
Everyone's doing great. And, as you know, a lot of longevity too.
Yeah.
As we just said farewell to one of our longest standing
and Jill
employees.
had been here 33 years.
Almost 34 years.
Almost 34 years.
Yep.
That's a lot of history.
It really is.
Yeah.
We're going to miss her. I'm really happy for her. But there's such a nice blend of longevity and fresh perspectives. And it's cool. Keeps us all motivated.
Yeah. Well, I was joking with Glenda that I am now the Asher employee who's been at Asher the longest, and that just means I'm really old. So.
No, stop.
So hopefully I survive 2026.
Seasoned. You're seasoned.
Well, Kara, thanks for doing this. It's great to hear an update on where Asher was in 2025 and where it's headed in 2026. Really appreciate you taking the time to do it.
Thank you. Thanks, Anthony, so much. Let's bring it on.
All right. And thanks to everyone who took the opportunity to listen to this episode of the Asher Marketing Podcast. We'll be back next time with another great guest, and we hope you'll join us then.
Thanks for joining us today. Next time, we'll be featuring another great guest, so be sure to tune in. If you enjoyed this episode, please subscribe to our show and leave us a review. It really helps others find us. Visit our website at asheragency.com for more resources and updates.